welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are watching episode 6 and 7 of Ergo Proxy. So I'm trying out a new thing where I do two episodes per video, and hopefully that'll be something that people enjoy. People seem to be on board with that idea, and if nothing else, it'll make sure that I don't abandon Ergo Proxy for an indefinite amount of time, because we're gonna get through it really quickly. So yeah, 2 episodes today. Let me know down in the comments if this is something that you like or don't like. Really just sort of trying new things and seeing what works for the channel and what doesn't. So yeah, let's get into what happened last episode. So we had Riel showing up at the little encampment thing outside of the city where Vincent and Pino are staying, and it seems like she has been sent there by her bureau, the investigation bureau. We know that the intelligence bureau knows that she's there because or knows that Vincent is there because we saw Raoul looking at the footage from the drone that Vincent shot down. So there are lots of pieces kind of moving, and Riel went there to try and get Vincent and bring him back. Now, I had some thoughts about that whole thing because she said that he could go back to his old life, but I really feel like that wouldn't happen. I feel like because of what he's gotten himself in the middle of, that is just not something he can do. But also I think he doesn't want to do it because he knows that he's never going to be a full citizen. He's never going to be treated the way that he wants to be treated. So he doesn't really want to go back to his old life. He wants to go back to something different, something better. He was really he was hoping that Riel would not only allow him back in the city, but he was hoping that she would have the power to allow the rest of the people that lived in the little encampment as well, because everyone there really wants to be allowed back into the city. They want to be made full citizens. So he was more so wanting that to happen than for himself. And Riel was like, that's not what my job is here. My job is to bring you back. While she was in the midst of trying to do that, a strike or some kind of strike was ordered on the encampment to basically exterminate it. These drones were sent to basically wipe out this encampment of refugees, and in the midst of that, Riel's hazmat suit that she had on, because of the toxic environment, she got a crack in the mask of it, and it got ruined to the point where she couldn't move in it, so she had to get out of the suit and exposed herself to the environment, which has led to her getting sick, and she has lost her link of communication back at the city. So now she's basically trapped in this encampment with them, with Vincent, with Hudi, with Pino. There was also a thing with Timothy, which I don't want to talk about it. I'm sure we're gonna have to deal with it in some capacity because he was Quinn's child, and I really like Quinn at this point. She's making some good points. She's got a good head on her shoulders, asking the right questions. I like her, but also she's probably going through a lot with the whole Timothy thing. And the only other thing, kind of the biggest thing that came up in the last episode, was that when Vincent was being attacked by one of these drones that was attacking people, and he kind of fell off this ledge, and we saw a quick glimpse of one of the proxies. So one of the proxies has been killed, and it was found and kind of this tangling of wire. The one that was after Vincent in episode 2 was found dead and is kind of back in the lab that was experimenting on it in the first episode, but we haven't seen the other Proxy since, I think, the first episode. Except last episode, we saw like a brief glimpse of it. So we learned some things about Proxies too from Hootie, who is a bit of a liar and a manipulator, so I don't know how much of his information I should believe, but he did bring up that there was like a shape-shifting ability to Proxies, which makes sense. You feel like if you saw something like one of the Proxies, you would like remember it. So if they're like blending in with the city and they're hard to find, I would assume that there's some kind of shape-shifting happening. So if they can shapeshift and we like saw this Proxy show up at a time of distress, like both a time when Riel was in distress again, because last time we saw it was when she was being attacked by the other Proxy, and Vincent was being attacked. So there's definitely some kind of connection between both Riel and Vincent, which we've known for a while. But it seems like too much of a coincidence for this Proxy to show up outside of the city at just the moment when Vincent and Riel are being attacked. Like, has been nowhere to be found for the last like 4 or 5 episodes, and suddenly it has reappeared at this exact moment at this exact place. So my current sort of theory is maybe Vincent is the Proxy. And if he is, there seems to be some kind of like memory block happening, because there is this duality to who Vincent is, where like he can have this weird like bloodlust violence side that comes out, but like most of the time he's like a very like passive and just kind of non-violent person. Yeah. Maybe he is. I mean, like, we've literally only seen this Proxy twice, and like it was the briefest glimpse in the last episode. So I feel like this episode we're really gonna have Riel and Vincent like properly interact with each other, learn about each other. Riel's gonna have to get past this illness from the environment, which I don't think is gonna be a fun time. But I think that it's really gonna be a chance for Riel and Vincent to like trade notes and like really sort of understand each other, and maybe even have some kind of understanding and alliance of some kind. Riel seems pretty disenchanted with the system that she finds herself in, and Vincent certainly seems as if he is seeing past the curtain of everything. So I feel like this is going to be less of an action-based episode and more of a like reaction and like recovery kind of thing. I think we're gonna calm down a little bit, and it's gonna be more of a like character and maybe like world focused thing, as opposed to the last episode, which had lots of like action stuff in it. So yeah, let's get into episode 6. In 3, 2, 1, go. What are we dragging up? Ooh, a ship of some kind? Looks like there might be some animosity, some displeasure between Vincent and Quinn. Maybe she blames him for the attack that got Timothy. Poor Pino. She doesn't understand, does she? Her friend. Is that Riel's ship? Poor Pino. She finally made a friend. I'm just thinking of how sad I am about Timothy. How unnecessary to just, like, give me an adorable friendship and then rip it out of my hands. I think Quinn might blame Vincent a little bit, though. Which is a bit of a shame, because I thought she would be, like, a pretty good ally for Vincent. Like, someone who is a little bit more active. Like, she very much wants to, like, do things, and, like, she doesn't want to be reactive. She wants to have kind of make the first move. So if they are going to work together, I feel like they're going to have to work through some stuff. Same with Vincent and Riel, though. They're going to have to come to some kind of understanding. If at all. I'm assuming that any of them will help each other. I could be wrong. Who knows what'll happen? Fancy clock. Looks like the toy that Hootie has in his shop, or his little hut thing. Are his emotions being manipulated? Is there something more going on to, like, how he's involved with the security bureau? Disgraced. Oh. So have Daedalus and Riel known each other for a really long time? I knew that they were friends, but I didn't realize they'd known each other since they were younger. Where is he leaving to? I assume he's gonna use one of the ships that they found. Is he going back to, like, where he was born? Yeah, I feel like the like Cameron thing might turn against it. Like, they were very much on the edge of trusting Vincent at all. But now that Timothy has died, it's gonna be harder for him to kind of get them to accept him. So Quinn is going with him? Or she's just helping repair the ship? Because she definitely wants to not stay where she is. Why did she see something? Oh wow. That's a little disheartening. I feel like maybe something in Quinn has shifted now. and not necessarily for the best. Good point. I was trying to think, I'm like, why would she want to take Arya with her? But it makes sense to kind of use it as a negotiation until they're far enough away, right? So they're going back. But he doesn't want to. Is he taking Pinot? So Pinot's with Quinn. So he left Pinot? But Pinot had to stay with Vincent. That's what she wanted. Okay, so she did leave without permission. I was like, I didn't think anyone sent her, because she's not supposed to be working on the case, right? Okay, but you should let her in, because if you don't, she'll end up dying. Also, Vincent's with her, so you might want him. Okay. a lot of drones to send after one boat. Ah, so he thought that Vincent would be on that ship, so he sent a bunch of drones, but Vincent is elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Well, that seems like a threat. It's Hootie. So is Vincent really with them? He stayed with Pino. Oh, dang. Wow. And Hootie finally got back into the city. Oh no. Not her too. I don't know what to think of Douglas. always exhausting getting to the end of an episode. Oh, wow. I just need a minute to like process. I have emotions to process. I have like new information to process. Wow. Okay. I I really wasn't expecting Hootie to be the one. Like I was wondering why they kept showing the clock, and I was like maybe it's just because it's like it's connected to like the like commune and like the fact that there are people there that really want to go back to the city and can't, and it's like what does it mean when you run out of time? Or even just like the idea of these like toy people dancing and like being manipulated and stuff. Like there's so many different ways to look at the symbolism of that clock, but like having it directly linked to Hootie and like his time being up and stuff. Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, like just the symbolism of the clock. I love it. I love everything about that. It's such a good kind of marker, and there's something like eerie about that too. Like something just like unnerving about these like toy versions of humans dancing and stuff when like the rest of the world is very like not childish and it's very like bleak and grungy and stuff. So to have that like contrast is very like interesting, and just like the fact that like Hootie took part of it, like he stole a piece of like the city or like of innocence to take with him into like this world that would like basically shattered all of his perceptions of like what his world was like before. And then he came back, which, I mean, it was nice of him to do that, to like bring Riel back and like kind of take away the decision from Vincent to like either go on the ship with Quinn and everyone and like discover, you know, find answers for what he's looking for, and to like go out into other places of the world and find something else other than Ramdo, but also like really sad because it was the end. His time was up. And like Raoul seems oddly desperate to have Vincent. Like he's really like putting all of his chips in and really trying to get a hold of him. And it's making him almost like reckless, and he seems to be kind of like losing his composure. And there was a point where he was talking about like them manipulating his emotions, and I don't know if that's like literally manipulating his emotions in some way, because I don't know what the like committee people, like what their power is. I don't know what their like capabilities would be, or even like what kind of technology they have. It kind of makes me think of thinking basically like, you know, Brave New World, where there's like all these drugs that like manipulate how people feel so that they don't have to be sad or anything, and they're like always content. It makes me think of that, like that kind of dystopian kind of thing. So I don't know if like it's something literal like that, or if it's like they're choosing what information to give him because they know that Raoul will react in a certain way, and that's how they're manipulating his emotions. But he does seem to be kind of like losing his grip, like he's letting his frustration and his anger get in the way of how he's making decisions. So, and it's like making him lash out, which makes him a very like unpredictable person to deal with. Like it makes it difficult to guess what he's gonna do, like what his limit is to like what he is willing to do to get what he wants. Desperate people are always the scariest people, so it makes him an interesting adversary, though. And of course, we have Vincent and Pino, who are now on this rabbit little ship thing, heading out. Lost a lot of people that were on that boat with them because of the drone attack, and but we're gonna hopefully get to see some of the world outside of the dome, right? Like we're gonna see some of what else is out there. We know that there is other stuff because Vincent was born somewhere else, and there's all of these immigrants within Ramdo. So I'm excited to see what else is in the world, because the world is one of the things like I first fell in love with this show, was just the world and the aesthetic of it. Like I still love it. Grungy stuff. Grunge is what I live for. So it was I can't wait to kind of explore some more of it. I don't know what to think of Douglas though. It seems like he really is friends. Well, I keep saying he. I don't actually know. They're a little bit gender ambiguous to me, but I'm gonna go with he until proven otherwise. Because Douglas is a masculine name in my brain. It does seem like him and Riel have known each other for a long time. There was those videos of her as a child directly like talking to him. So they've obviously known each other for a while, but Douglas is also a like scientist, and we know that he was like experimenting on the proxy at the beginning, so like the fact that there are like videos of Riel almost put me on an edge, because it makes me think of like a subject, you know, like how you tape a like specimen as they're like interacting naturally in their environment. So there's almost something like clinical and like scientific about the way that it is. And I don't know if I'm just like being suspicious of everybody, but that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like an observer of something as opposed to like a friendship. But they have known each other for a long time. But Douglas is also keeping a lot of stuff from her. Like he definitely knows more about proxies than he's telling her. And the look that he gave Raoul is very suspicious to me, so I don't really know what to trust from that angle. Like I think he even has a connection with Riel's grandfather, who is definitely manipulating a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff kind of starting to come together, and it's very exciting. So with that, we will move into episode 7. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Where are we at? Did their ship crash? Oh, I love Pino's little, like, rabbit outfit. Oh, careful. You have to be careful, darling. Ooh. Oh, did another one of their members die? Okay, so they are going to his birthplace. How do they even know where they're going? Like, if you can't see the sun or the stars, or like have any distinct landmarks, how do you know which direction you're going? Like, how are they navigating? Do they have like a computer of some kind? Are they guessing? I don't know. Excuse me as I drink tea. I'm excited to see Vincent's like birthplace. I'm a little disappointed that Vincent and Riel didn't really spend that much time together, so like they're separated again. Riel is back at in the city and Vincent is like getting farther and farther away from it. So I'm still gonna have to wait for kind of see how their storylines are gonna intersect, but I do want to explore more of the world. I'm willing to leave some character development stuff for the sake of some world exploration. I'm sad about the commune though. It just got like obliterated. Well, that's good. She's recovering well. Wow. Really good recovery. Oh, does her grandfather want to see her? Oh. What does that number mean? Because that's in the title too. If it's like she's better at healing. See, that's really what I was talking about. Like, she seems like a subject, like an experiment in and of herself. Oh, really? So they are like they can be a single like, cognitive entity? I feel like they shouldn't be keeping Ro in the dark because it's gonna fuel his frustration. Girl, you are not fully recovered yet. You should stop pushing yourself so much. You literally almost died. It is true. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, but I don't know if ignorance is best. I said that about Vincent too. I'm like, now that he knows that he can just leave the city, he will. Ooh, that looks familiar. Douglas did know. Speaking of lies and secrets. Where are we going? Exploring? Looks like somewhere where you keep, like, specimens. The, like... Yeah, see the, like, white... Like, the shadows in it? So fellow citizens are, like... born... or, like... grown? In these artificial wombs? That's unnerving. I just assumed it was natural birth, but... I guess it is a way to control population. It's a good point, too. There's a lot of shadows around his eyes, too. That makes me think... secrets. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want any real answers, you're probably gonna have to ask your grandfather. Oh my gosh, it literally just clicked in my mind that they were probably burying Quinn at the beginning. But I thought that there were 3 people besides Vincent and Pino on the ship. And it looks like there's only 2. So maybe I was right anyway. They're like, another member died on the ship. It does make me think of like how much power her grandfather actually has and how much of just like a mouthpiece he is. Yeah, it's like they're losing people one after another. But yeah, like if there's this like entity that has like multiple individuals making up a single like thought process, then like maybe her grandfather doesn't actually have any power. He's just like a headpiece instead of someone with actual authority. Iggy. I missed Iggy. I haven't seen him in so long. I mean, I know that Iggy is like being used to spy on her, but like that's not his fault. Aww, that's nice. Mm-hmm. We're gonna land with the proxy. Are we gonna finally find something out about what proxies are? Or at least like the connection to like the security bureau and the intelligence bureau and stuff? So Musk is where Vincent is from, so they have a dome too? Wow. Immortal? Interesting. Yeah. She's not the kind of person to just leave something. She has to find the answers. It makes me think, though, if they've been experimenting with the proxies and, like, the DNA of the proxies, if something to do with that experiment is linked to Riel. Because she recovered really fast, right? So maybe they experimented on her? And that's why the proxies were drawn to her? Oh. Do they have the virus thing that was there before? We kind of left that plot for a while, didn't we? That Otto Reeves were being infected and manipulated? Oof. Girl's a good shot. Is that how they're being hacked? Wow. So Raul is using the Cognito virus and like hacking into these auto reefs. So I said desperate people are the scariest kind. Don't tell me they're gonna leave it like that. But is she okay? Excuse me? Oh. Oh, I have so many other thoughts to go through now. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I thought maybe the only thing special about Riel was like because of the position of her grandfather and like her having some kind of like standing out as someone who works in like the intelligence bureau. But I think there's been experiments on her, like because if they produce all of the fellow citizens, like if all of the people who are fellow citizens are born through through those like artificial wombs, then that means like you don't know what they're doing to the biology, right? So I feel like she's been experimented on based on what they found in the auto reef. The little bunny. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking real. So based on what they found in like the DNA, the biology of the auto reef that they had, that they experimented on Riel. So that's why Douglas knows her. That's why there's all the footage, like the recorded footage. That's why she was able to heal. And like that's why the proxies were drawn to her. And I think why she's drawn to the proxies in return, like why she can't just move on from what happened. And if Vincent is a proxy, which is seeming more and more likely, and it seems like he's kind of starting to put some pieces together as he has time to think on his own, that and like the other auto reef was like from Musk, which is like where Vincent is from, and apparently there's another dome there. So it seems like maybe something else is happening there, which makes it more exciting that like Vincent is traveling that way and we're gonna like see it hopefully and learn some more stuff. But like why Vincent was able to heal being outside of Remdo, why he is drawn to Riel, because if they both have like something in their DNA linking them, then that's probably why they're connected. Wow. I definitely think that Douglas is like knows way more. Like I think he definitely knows something about Riel, and he has all these files and he keeps like looking back through them, and like yeah, there's definitely something else in their relationship. Like I think he wants, I don't know what motivates him. Like I want to believe that they're friends. I want to believe that they're just legitimately trying to help each other out. But at the same time, I don't know how much of that is just like manipulating her in a way that's like favorable for him. I don't know. And like Raoul is getting serious. He's starting to use like they're starting to use the like cognitovirus that was what was being used on Otto Reeves at the beginning, and kind of weaponizing Otto Reeves as a way of getting to Riel. Like he's really starting to get desperate, and he's also starting to say like treasonous things against the regent, right? So, and openly, like his Otto Reef was like, I'm required to record that kind of stuff and report it, and he's like, yeah, I know, I want them to know that I'm talking about it. So he's really starting to get reckless in the way that he's behaving. And I wonder if it's something to do with the fact that the Otto Reef has this like immortality in its DNA. Like, is that what's motivating him? Is wanting that? Or is it wanting to be regent? Is it wanting to have more power? Or is it something else? Because he seems very emotional. So is there like some history to why he's kind of has this almost vendetta of going after the Otto Reeve and going against what the regent wants and things like that? I don't know. I'm excited to find out what exactly motivates him, because at the moment he's very volatile and I don't really know how to predict his actions.